Our first term is eyewitness. Eyewitness, you can say testigo presencial or testigo ocular. I just put this kind of bone white powder all over my lids just to blend, even out the tone. All right, and so for eyewitness, interestingly, both of the terms testigo presencial or testigo ocular, they both first have the word testigo, which means witness. So again, eyewitness, testigo presencial or testigo ocular. I'm going to start warming things up with this second one. Extenuating circumstances, circunstancias atenuantes. Extenuating circumstances, circunstancias atenuantes. Prior to taking my interpreting course, I'd never heard of our next term, extension. I would have assumed extensión, because most words that end with tion in Spanish can usually be interpreted with a cion ending. But extension, however many days they had to file something, if they need an extension in that sense, so requesting more time, to interpret that is proroga. Proroga. Prorroga. Extension proroga. With the exact same color, just gonna add some more to deepen it up. And our terms, once again, have been eyewitness, extenuating circumstances, proroga. Do you remember how to say them? Eyewitness, testigo presencial, or testigo ocular. Extenuating circumstances, circunstancias atenuantes, extension, proroga. Next term, expert witness. We know what witness is, testigo, but it's not going to be as easy as testigo experto. Expert witness, testigo pericial. Expert witness, testigo pericial. And moving in with the deepest shade, I'm gonna pack it in, concentrating at the bottom edge. Our next term, exhibit, is very exact to what it does in Spanish. So exhibit in Spanish, you can either say elemento de prueba or artículo de prueba. Elemento de prueba o artículo de prueba. Because that's what an exhibit is. It's just a piece of evidence. And so exhibit, you're not just gonna say prueba because then that's evidence. Exhibit, elemento de prueba or artículo de prueba. An examination of witnesses, interrogatorio de testigos. An examination of witnesses, they're questioning witnesses, es un interrogatorio de testigos. And let's see, I'm gonna apply some mascara just so that the eye look is more cohesive. I'm going to start applying some foundation. I've got my e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. And we're going to excuse the jury. Excuse the jury, despedir or ausentar el jurado. I might have over applied, but I guess this is what we're gonna work with. And I'm going to use this brush, pack it in, and then stipple it around the face, starting in the center. And so, excuse the jury, despedir or ausentar, that's to say bye-bye, and testigos, excuse the jury, despedir, ausentar el jurado, al jurado. Next, what we're going to learn is about evidence for the defense and evidence for the prosecution. And this is going to give us, anytime you hear defense, prosecution, a word you want to have on the back of your mind is going to be descargo and cargo. If it's descargo, it's for the defense. And if it's cargo, prosecution. Evidence for the prosecution, pruebas de cargo. Evidence for the defense, pruebas de descargo. And so, to confirm, evidence, pruebas. Evidence, pruebas. Evidence for the defense, pruebas de descargo. Evidence for the prosecution, pruebas de cargo. Oh, and evidence, pruebas, is always plural. You're never going to have a singular, it's always plural. So evidence, pruebas. Las pruebas, pruebas de descargo, pruebas de cargo. We're going to move on to our concealer. This is the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. And our next term, enter a plea. To enter a plea is declararse. They can be declaring themselves guilty, not guilty, or no contest. But to declare or to enter a plea, declararse. As we're going over enter a plea, declararse, let's just quickly go over guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Guilty, culpable. Guilty, culpable. Not guilty, no culpable, and no contest. No contest is like saying guilty, except it can't be used against them in civil court. Don't quote me on anything. I'm not an attorney. I'm just doing my best as an interpreter. I'm going to move in with bronzer. To enter a judgment. So this is something a judge is going to do, and they are going to be, it's dictar sentencia o dictar un fallo. Dictar sentencia or dictar un fallo. And the next term is going to kind of go into the previous one, enforcement of a judgment, ejecución de un fallo o de una sentencia. Ejecución de un fallo o de una sentencia. Enforcement, ejecución. Judgment, fallo o sentencia. To enter a judgment, dictar sentencia o dictar un fallo. I've used all of the cream products that I've wanted to use, so I'm going to lightly set everything with my e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder. I'm just going to use this very big fluffy brush to sweet powder all over my face. Perfect. Your girl gets oily, so this just makes sure nothing slides around. Our next term, embezzlement. Embezzlement, desfalco. I don't know why I just like, as a word itself, embezzlement, and in Spanish too, desfalco. Embezzlement, desfalco. And just how I just like that word just the way it sounds, I also like blush just for the sake of blush. It's probably my favorite makeup step. And today I chose this shade. I was going for more earthy tones today, which is why my makeup's pretty neutral. No, everything was matte. Encroachment, usurpación. Encroachment, usurpación. Environmental offenses, delitos contra el medio ambiente. Environmental offenses, delitos contra el medio ambiente. I'm going to use this brush, this powder bronzer from Milani. This is a long one. Exhibiting firearm in presence of peace officer. Let's break this up. Exhibiting firearm. A firearm es un arma de fuego. Oh. Let's go back. I'm moving on with this Milani bronzer. Exhibiting firearm in presence of peace officer. It's kind of a long one, so we're gonna break everything up. Exhibiting firearm, exhibición de un arma, in presence, en presencia of peace officer, de un agente del orden público. Exhibiting firearm in presence of peace officer, exhibición de un arma en presencia de un agente del orden público. Going to line my lips. Since we just went over exhibiting firearm in presence of peace officer, our next one, we should kind of know some of it. Exhibiting deadly weapon. Exhibiting deadly weapon. And I'm going to top this lip liner with this lipstick. This is probably my favorite lipstick. For me, I think it just works great with my skin tone. It's Gallop from this from the brand ColourPop, and look at this beautiful red over here, deepish. All right, so I hope you like the lips. Exhibiting deadly weapon, exhibición de un arma mortífera. Deadly weapon, arma mortífera. A weapon you might have figured was arma, arma mortífera, deadly weapon. Exhibiting deadly weapon, exhibición de un arma mortífera. I'm gonna bring the hair down, and then that's it for our terms, the letter E. We're just gonna go through all of the words one more time. Let's see what you retained, and I'll see you soon. All right, friends, thank you for following along today's video. All that's left is for us to go over the terms, letter E. Eyewitness, testigo presencial or testigo ocular. Extenuating circumstances, circunstancias atenuantes. Extension, prorroga. Expert witness, testigo pericial. Exhibit, elemento de prueba or artículo de prueba. Exemplary damages, daños punitivos. Excuse the jury, despedir or ausentar al jurado. Evidence, pruebas. Evidence for the defense, pruebas de descargo. Evidence for the prosecution, pruebas de cargo. Enter a plea, declararse. Enter a judgment, dictar sentencia o dictar un fallo. Enforcement of a judgment, ejecución de un fallo, or ejecución de una sentencia. Embezzlement, desfalco. Encroachment, usurpación. Environmental offenses, delito contra el medio ambiente. Exhibiting firearm in presence of peace officer. Exhibición de un arma en presencia de un agente del orden público. Exhibiting deadly weapon, exhibición de un arma mortífera. Thank you so much for following along this video. Goodbye.